Today the class is on the stomach. First we look into the abdominal region. See in the figure, if you look here, this is the abdominal region you are looking. So the abdominal region is divided into 9 quadrants. You can clearly see here, these are the 9 quadrants of the abdomen. Okay, so the 9 quadrants of the abdomen are, this is right hypochondriac, left hypochondriac, right lumbar, left lumbar, right iliac and the left iliac region, and in the middle if you look, they are named as epigastric, umbilical and hypogastric region. Okay, why you have to know this is because if you look the organ, okay, so can you see here the organ stomach? So I can tell you the stomach lies in the left hypochondriac and the epigastric region. So to tell, like, the stomach occupies left hypochondriac and epigastric region. So to know that, you have to know the quadrants of the abdomen. So the abdomen consists of 9 quadrants. So the 9 quadrants of the abdomen are right hypochondriac, left hypochondriac, right lumbar, left lumbar, right iliac, left iliac, and in the midline, whatever you see in the center, they are epigastric region, umbilical region and hypogastric region. These are the 9 regions of the abdomen. Okay, so next we look into detail about the part of the GIT that is called as the stomach. So we look into detail the part of the stomach anatomy. What are the parts of the anatomy in detail? So what you know about the stomach? So when you look into the stomach is a muscular bag. You can see it is like a bag. Okay, it is like a muscular bag forming the widest and most distensible part of the digestive tube. You see, this is the most widest part of the GIT, the GIT part. Okay, so if you see it connects the lower end of the esophagus. You see, this is the esophagus which ends here. It connects the lower end of the esophagus to the duodenum. This is the part, you see, duodenum. Upper it is connected to the esophagus, lower it is connected to the duodenum. So what are the functions of the stomach? Stomach, it acts as a reservoir of food and helps in digestion of the protein, milk and fat. So you see, the digestion of the protein, milk and fat will happen in the stomach. Okay, then if you look into the region where it lies, the stomach lies obliquely in the upper and the left part of the abdomen. It lies in the upper and the left part of the abdomen. So you have looked the stomach, where the location it is connected above with the esophagus, below with the duodenum, and it acts as a muscular bag. So next you can see here, if you look into the stomach, if you look the shape of the stomach, it is J shape like this. No, it is J shape. The stomach is a dilated part of the alimentary canal between the esophagus and small intestine. It is a muscular sac. It is J shape. You can see it is a muscular sac like muscular bag, and the shape of the stomach, it is J shaped. Okay, now whatever I told you about the quadrant there, just look that it occupies the left upper hypochondriac, epigastric and umbilical region, and the much of it lies under the cover of the rib. Okay, so you should know which quadrant it lies. So it occupies the upper left hypochondriac, then the epigastric and the umbilical region, and these are the where the region, whatever the region of the abdomen we have discussed, you have to know about the regions there. Then it is related to vertebra. The stomach located at the level of T10 to L3 vertebral level. These are the vertebral layer from T10 to L3 vertebral level. The position of the stomach varies with the body habitude. See, it depends, okay. The more the food consumption you do, the shape of the stomach will be different. So position stomach varies with the body habituates. Okay, next we look into the external features of the stomach. So remember what we are looking now is the external feature of stomach. Remember the rule of two. Okay, so it consists of two orifice or opening. There are two orifice or two openings. Okay, it consists of two curvature or borders. There are two curvature, otherwise called as border, and two surfaces. So remember, stomach consists of two orifice or two opening, two curvature or borders, and two surfaces. Look here. Look in the figure, you can make out. So see, this is a stomach. Okay, so you see the stomach, it consists of two orifice. See, this is a one orifice here, one more orifice here, two orifice. Then you have seen the two surface, one surface here, one more is behind, and two curvature. One is this lesser curvature, and one more is greater curvature of the stomach. Okay, the two orifices are named as one. This orifice is called as cardiac orifice, and the lower one is called as a pyloric orifice. So the two orifices are, one is cardiac orifice and one more is called as a pyloric orifice. So cardiac orifice is joined by lower end of esophagus, and the pyloric orifice where it opens into the duodenum. So remember the two orifices there. One is called as a cardiac orifice, one more is called as a pyloric orifice. Next, two curvature. See, this is a lesser curvature and this one is called as a greater curvature. Okay, lesser curvature will give attachment to lesser omentum, and the greater curvature will give attachment to greater omentum. So the two curvature are called as a lesser curvature and greater curvature. Then two parts. One is called as a cardiac part. So if you look the cardiac part, it is divided into fundus. You can see this part. Okay, divided into fundus. Okay, upper convex dome like part you see above the cardiac orifice. Upper convex dome above the cardiac orifice is called as a fundus. Fundus is the one which is air filled, air filled sac, you see, that is called as a fundus. Next you see this is a part called as a body. Okay, so remember the cardiac part is divided into upper dome like, that is called fundus, and the next one is called as a body. Okay, next if you look, then is called as a pyloric part. This is called as a pyloric part. The pyloric part is divided into, one is called as a pyloric antrum and one which is opening into the duodenum, that is called as a pyloric canal. So pyloric part is divided in two parts. One is called as a pyloric antrum and one more is called as a pyloric canal. So these are the external features of the stomach. Okay, so look in the figure. So external features of the stomach, it consists of two orifice. One is called as a cardiac, one is called as a pyloric. Then two curvature, lesser curvature and greater curvature. Then you see the surfaces, anterior and the posterior, and two part. Okay, the cardiac part is divided into two more. One is called a fundus and one more is called as the body. The pyloric part is divided into pyloric antrum and pyloric canal. So these are the features of the stomach. Okay, see here the stomach opening. So one is cardiac, that is called gastroesophagus. One more is called pyloric to duodenum. Okay. Okay, then the greater curvature here, which gives attachment to gastrosplenic and this is the greater curvature. The greater curve which is attached to gastrosplenic ligament and greater omentum. Lesser curvature which is attached to the lesser omentum. What are these greater omentum and lesser omentum? They are peritoneal folds. Okay, they are called as a peritoneal folds. Okay, then see here the lesser omentum is attaches to the lever to lesser curvature. The greater omentum attaches the greater curvature to posterior body wall. Okay, see here, you can see this is a lesser curvature which I spoke, this is a greater. So you can see here this fold what you are seeing, they are called as, this one is called a lesser omentum and this part is called as a greater omentum. See, it is attached to lever by, this is a lever, what the organ you are seeing, by lesser omentum, and here you can see this, that is called as a greater omentum. Okay. Next, we are moving on to the relation. If you look any organ, you have to know the relation of that organ. So, the relation we divide it into, like we have to tell about anterior relation and posterior relation of that organ. So, if you look here, anterior relation of the stomach, the anterior relation of stomach, if you look, it is related to abdominal wall. Anterior abdominal wall, left costal margin, diaphragm and left lobe of the liver. And so anteriorly it is related to abdominal wall, left costal margin, diaphragm, left lobe of the liver. Okay, superiorly it is related to left dome of diaphragm. Then coming to posterior relation, see here you can see the diagram here. So this is what you're looking, this is the stomach. Okay, so you can see the posterior relation, what all you are looking here, no, they are the posterior relation of the stomach. So I'll start the posterior relation of the stomach. See, the posteriorly the stomach is related to lesser sac. Then see, you can see this organ here, that is called as a pancreas. So posteriorly the stomach is related to pancreas, lesser sac. You can see here this one, this is called as a transverse colon. See, transverse colon with the transverse mesocolon. Then left kidney, left suprarenal gland, and you can see next the spleen. The spleen is supplied by artery. You can see a tortuous artery running like this, that is called as the splenic artery. Okay, these are the posterior relation of the stomach. So once again I will tell you what are the posterior relation of the stomach. So you can tell the posterior relation of the stomach are lesser sac, pancreas, okay, transverse colon with transverse mesocolon, left kidney. Remember, it is on the left side, so you have to mention about the kidney there, left kidney. Okay, left kidney and left suprarenal gland, spleen with the artery called as the splenic artery. These are the posterior relation of the stomach. Okay, see here, you can see again whatever I have discussed you about relation of the stomach, anterior abdominal wall, left costal margin, left pleura and lung, diaphragm and left lobe of liver. Posteriorly lesser sac, diaphragm, spleen, left suprarenal gland, left kidney, splenic artery, pancreas, left colon and left transverse colon with transverse mesocolon. These are the relations of the stomach. Okay, where you have to mention about anterior relation and posterior relation of the stomach. Okay, next you're looking about the blood supply to the stomach. If you look any organ, it is got left blood supply. So remember, draw a diagram of the stomach. You should draw a diagram of the stomach. Okay, then next you draw the artery here, that is called a major artery. You can see like this, that is called as the celiac trunk. So draw about the celiac trunk. Then you draw the branches there. Can you see one branch going here? This is called as the left gastric artery. Next, the artery going torches like this, that is called as the splenic artery. Okay. Then here the artery what you're reading, that is called as a common hepatic artery. So remember, celiac trunk will give rise to three arteries: left gastric artery, splenic artery, and common hepatic artery. Okay, these are the three branches of celiac trunk. So look here, the three branches celiac trunk are: one is left gastric artery, splenic artery, and common hepatic artery. Okay, this will give rise to, see, left gastric artery will run along lesser curvature of the stomach. Splenic artery will give rise to other branches. Okay, the branches are left gastroepiploic artery and short gastric artery. You can see this is a greater curvature of the stomach which is supplied by left gastroepiploic artery and the short gastric artery. Whereas the common hepatic artery will give rise to, one is gastroduodenal artery and proper hepatic artery. The gastroduodenal artery will give rise to right gastroepiploic artery. So you can see anastomosis here between right and the left gastroepiploic artery there. Here left gastric artery will anastomose with right gastric artery, which is a branch of common hepatic artery. So remember here, lesser curvature supplied by left gastric and right gastric artery. So left gastric will directly arise from celiac trunk and right gastric artery will arise from common hepatic artery. So these are the blood supply of the stomach. Okay, next, in the image you are seeing, this is of the X-ray of the stomach. So you can see here, so whatever I told you, see, this is the fundus part you are seeing. How I know? Because of the air spill or the gas in the stomach. This is the lower end you are looking, that is called as the pyloric antrum with pyloric canal. So this is a lesser curvature of the stomach and this is a greater curvature of the stomach you are looking there. Okay. Okay. Okay, just a summary of the class. So what you have looked about the stomach. So the stomach, you learn about what is the shape of the stomach first, then the features of the stomach, it like a rule of two. Two orifice, cardiac orifice and pyloric orifice, two curvature, one is lesser curvature and one more is greater curvature. Two, then you have to learn about the surfaces, anterior surface and posterior surface. Then write about the relation of the anterior and the posterior surface there. Whatever you have discussed about the relation of the anterior and posterior surface, mention about it. Then lastly mention about the arterial supply of the stomach. Arterial supply of the stomach is mainly by the celiac trunk. Then you mention about the branches of the celiac trunk there. What are the three main branches you mention? Splenic artery, left gastric artery and one more is common hepatic artery. So go through it and practice the diagram of the stomach. First about the external features diagram, then about the relation of the stomach in detail. You have to know and write the points for it. This is about the 2 days class about the stomach. Thank you.